Alright guys, today I'm going to be looking at the theory of life script. This is something that was founded by a guy called Eric Byrne, and it's a part of the field of transactional analysis if you want to do a bit more research, because as you know my videos aren't going massively in depth. We're just looking at the kind of theory of it and how it's applied for me and people in my practice over the years. The first thing to say about the life scripts, it's a little bit of a kind of a difficult concept for some people to grasp, but once you do and once you sort of get your head around it, it's very, very useful. It's basically theory is that it's written by the time you're 4 years old, which is, I suppose, is a little bit kind of difficult to grasp. That, well, you know, I'm a 41-year-old guy and I'm kind of ruled by things that I decided when I was 4. But it's true, and I think the more you look into it, you know, especially when you've got people in the world like Donald Trump, for example, you'll see that, yeah, you know, we are being led by, some of us are being led by a child, and some of us are more aware of that than others. So I'm going to kind of give you a bit of an idea about this, and then I'm going to use an example from my own life, which was something that I used to overcome this. So it's decisional. This is an important thing because these are decisions that you make, so you can unmake them. This is something that you can kind of work with. It's not something that necessarily the script that you've written is necessarily changeable, but you can certainly learn to live out of it. So we imagine it to be like a stream that's running beneath what we're actually doing because it's out of our awareness. We don't know we're doing it. That's the thing. So the more you raise it into awareness, the more you can learn to live outside of it, rather than letting it always kind of control you. You have a little bit of a say in what's going on. So it's based on emotional experience and the environment that you're in between the age of 0 and 4, and then further on, more modifications are said to be made to this by the time you're 7. So by then, it's put into the back of your mind and you live that way. You've decided that if the world was a safe place when you were that age, that the world's going to be a safe place as an adult. If the world wasn't so safe, then maybe not. Are you lovable? Do you think you're lovable? Do you think you're likeable? Do you appreciate yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you support yourself? All those things are messages, you know, if your parents made you feel as a kid, because it is their job to make you feel at that age, you know, loved, accepted, that your identity is okay and you're okay to be who you are, then you're generally going to feel that as an adult. So where this breaks down is when there's deficits in that, and we kind of, you know, we're struggling as an adult to manage some of the things in our life because we're being directed by a script that we don't even know about. Now, because the script is emotional, again, it's another thing. You can Google this. You know, there's a part of the brain that is said to be emotional, and that's where these decisions are kept. Now, that's very powerful, and it's going to override your logical thinking. So if you're in a sort of situation and you sort of say to yourself, I just don't know why I did that, you know, maybe it's because your script was at work. So this is very closely linked to another sort of aspect of the theory, which is in a child, which is something that I went through a lot in therapy. So I'm going to be bringing it in. So that's a brief overview of it, and I think it's a very important thing to remember, that it's out of your conscious awareness, that you know that you don't know it's happening, because we need to be starting to look at the ways that we live this script out. You know, you hear it, like you have people that will say to you, you know, why do I always meet the same type of person? You know, well, probably because you're attracting the same type of person, because your script is telling you that that is the type of person that you should be with. And it's repeatedly not working out, and you're not logically adapting to it and changing it to make it work. You're just carrying on with the same thing, hoping that one day it'll be different. So to give you an example, when I got married, we first of all said we weren't going to bother with speeches and all that. We were going to do a very sort of informal thing. But I felt that I should really say thanks to everyone for coming and for all the help that everyone had given us and everything, which brought me to my problem, because I hate doing that sort of thing. I hate public speaking. I hate talking in a group. It's something that I really, really struggle with, because I have this inner child, this script that says to me that I am not good enough. Something in my early life, up to that age of 7, sort of something about my environment wasn't inviting, or I didn't feel lovable. I didn't feel that I was necessarily appreciated for who I was. So when I walk into that room and do that speech, what's going through my head is that they're waiting for me to make a mistake. They're going to laugh at me. I'm going to say something wrong. I'm going to look stupid. And I really struggled. I went to see someone about it, just to talk it over, because even though I kind of do this for a job, there's times when it catches me out, and I did have a couple of sessions to kind of refresh my own memory about where I wasn't necessarily living by my own advice. And it was very, very interesting, because what I learned was happening was that when I walk into that room, I'm not looking at the facts. The facts are that it's my family. You know, it was a small do. You know, everybody else came in the evening, so it was just really close family. Now, out of all those people, you know, most of them think I'm all right. So why are they going to want to sort of see me fuck it up, or, you know, make a mistake, or whatever, you know? And so a lot of the feelings that I was having weren't based in reality. I was fearful that people were going to laugh at me, or they weren't going to think that I was doing the right thing or saying the right thing. So obviously, if I look at the present moment, if you like the situation that I'm actually in, and logically I can see that there's nothing to worry about, then of course what I'm worrying, the feeling that I've got, comes from somewhere else. It's not coming from the present moment, because I don't actually have anything to worry about. So it's coming from somewhere else. Now, this is where the script comes in, because this is a scripty behaviour. This is something I've always had. I'd be in a group at college and I'd be scared to say something. I'd be thinking, oh God, I bet that ain't perfect. I bet that there's going to be something that I say that they think, oh, what are you on about now, or shut up, or whatever. And I even get that sometimes with these videos, thinking, you know, that type of thing. So I'm always having to push through this. And that's the key. I'm maybe not going to be able to change it. Maybe that's always going to be in me. You know, there's a part of me that likes to believe that one day I'll completely get out of it, but I'm starting to think that's not the case. So when I said that, like, this is a sort of stream, you know, we've all got this stream, you know, but we don't have to be in it. We could get ourselves out of it up here somewhere, you know. Imagine there's some trees above it and we're in them. So we're not necessarily diving into the script. We're not necessarily living by that script. We're not being driven by our emotional reactions to something. Rather, we're sort of stepping back from it and applying our adult logic for what we know right now is okay. So in that room, all those people love me. They want me to do well. You know, I've got a good speech that I've kind of prepared in my mind a little bit, you know, and then the rest of it, I just kind of just did it as I went along. You know, but it's a happy day. Everybody wants it to go well. I've got nothing to fear. All those people are with me. If I do make a mistake, they're not going to laugh at me. You know, they're going to understand that I'm nervous, because they know me and they know that I'm not great in them situations. Now, being able to reassure myself like that made it much easier. Now, it didn't completely get the problem away, because when I first stood up, I started talking pretty quickly, and my wife's mum sort of said, you know, slow down. But once I got into it, it was fine, you know, and it went really well. Now, I spent days and days and days before that kind of going through it in my head. It's going to be all right, you know, and practicing certain things that I might say and things like that. But the bottom line is, and I'm going to cut this off in a minute because of the length it's getting. So, but the bottom line of it is that when we identify something that is in the present moment, and we're not necessarily dealing with it or responding to it in the way that logically we know we could, then we need to kind of start having a look about, right, where's my script here? What is it that I'm living here that might mean that I'm doing something that I don't necessarily believe is the right thing to do? This is an emotional response, it's not a logical response. I'm not acting like an adult, maybe I'm acting like a child here. Maybe there's a part of me that is quite childish here, or based on a decision that I made a long time ago. Now, I was intelligent to make some of those decisions long ago, because they protected me from things. You know, I didn't necessarily go under, because I made some of these decisions. Now, these are going to be the same for you. You know, we're smart kids, yeah, we're making good decisions for that age group. But as an adult, they don't work. To protect yourself from an adult that is you know, quite overpowering or manipulative or whatever when you're 4 is a sensible move, because it's going to protect you. But at the age of 40, I don't need to do that anymore. You know, I don't need to protect myself in the same way. I can be okay with the fact that I am who I am. Not everybody's going to like me, not everybody's going to love me. I don't need to be perfect, so it's okay. I can be who I am, and that's all right. And if you don't accept me, that's okay. Yeah? So that's the type of thing that I'm sort of trying to typify in this video. The next one, I'm going to talk about injunctions, which is part of the process of getting into the script in the first place, the messages that we make these decisions from. But for now, I'm going to sign off. So I hope you have a lovely day. I hope this has been helpful in some way. And if you've got any questions or anything like that, then yeah, just drop me a message. All right, see ya.